Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet again another episode from the Krebsco channel. Introductories aside, this is your host Krebsco, and I'm going to be taking you guys through this game we have today at 1v1 on Industrial Riverbed. A quick 360 through the center of the map. You guys can totally take a good look at what the battlefield looks like at the moment. That is Industrial Riverbed. Right, so who are we going to be looking at today? We're going to be looking at two players, obviously 1v1. One goes by the name of Blackberry User, the guy that we watched last round, the last episode, the winner, actually, the victor of that match. Very, very good player, Blackberry User Marinez, as the Americans. His opponent is going to be VSAT on the western corner as the Wehrmacht. Right, so we're at the 5-second mark, and we're going to be starting in 3 seconds for you guys who are watching through replays. So in 3, 2, 1, and go. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, right, on we go to another matchup from the Company of Heroes Battlefield. Okay, so basically today's matchup, I've actually had a really hard time of finding a cast for you guys today. I know there's a lot of emails that I get sent in with replays, and you know what, guys, there are probably about 20 replays that I have not even gone through yet because the volume that I receive is just so damn much. I'm sorry. So basically the people who sent me the last 20 or so replays, I have not unfortunately watched them yet. I will get around to doing it, so do not worry, I will get around to it, especially when I'm looking for fan submitted replays. But I had a bit of a hard time. Basically, my idea, my motto you could say is, you ask, I deliver. Okay, you guys asked, well, some of you anyway, have asked me to do different maps. You didn't like the standard ones such as Langres, Iangoville, Semois. You think I do them too often, which I have to actually personally disagree. Come on, how often do I really do them? I try to vary it up every now and then. So what I am doing for you guys today is Industrial Riverbed. Right, so both these players very highly ranked. Marinas, I actually introduced him in the last game. He's actually level 18 American player. You guys can see that in front of your screens right at the moment. Level 18 American player. We've seen him as a very good player. In fact, he just absolutely wiped the floor of Garcia in the last round. So it's going to be very high expectations for him. VSAT, however, is a very good player as well. He's in fact the rank 3. Okay, rank 3, level 19 Wehrmacht player. So if you guys remember from my previous cast, I actually said Garcia was the rank 3 player. Well, that has actually switched around. Now Garcia is the rank 2. He's actually gone up. And VSAT is now rank 3. So there you guys go. Both superb players. A lot to expect here. Let's switch on over quickly to the tactical map so we can take a quick look at what this battlefield actually looks like. Now, admittedly, I have not played this game that... sorry, not this game. This actual map. Come on, I've played this game absolutely tons of times. That'd be silly if I knew so much about this game but didn't play it. But this map specifically, I've not played that much on, so I would try to give this from more so of a perspective of a, experience from other maps and what I think about it. So this is Industrial Riverbed right here. Basically loads of cutoff points, loads of munitions, and very few fuel points. So in fact, if we actually take a quick closer look, there's basically almost no fuel points whatsoever. There are 2 low points in the middle, okay, 1 for each side, and also 2 high fuel points. So those high ones are going to be very crucial. If you want to actually maintain a stranglehold in this match, you need to at least maintain one of those fuel points. Is going to be very key. If somebody can actually maintain both of those fuel points, that could potentially mean the demise of one of the players, because if we're going to be going by the whole conception or idea that it is a fuel race, then indeed having both high fuel points on this map could definitely mean that you win that fuel race, and so you out-tech the person, getting more veterancy, but most importantly bringing out the armored units that could become very vital. Now, these Volksgrenadiers getting in the house, okay, it's good that they're getting in the house, but I have actually no idea why they were trying to race towards it. It looks like the Volksgrenadiers are so damn injured in there, but oh god, these riflemen, wow, I was really not expecting this, but these riflemen are taking a huge amount of damage from the Volksgrenadiers inside the house. But it looks like the riflemen here on the corner are actually a bit okay, but that Volksgrenadier squad is just about to go down, and yes, it is going down. So not looking good for those Volksgrenadiers. In fact, well, they're all dead, so it is not looking good at all. Right! So what else can I say about this map? Just as I said, there's quite a few cutoff points as well. So let's see the cutoff points. Well, there's a few on the sides, however, those don't seem to matter as much as the other ones. The few ones on the side are crucial at actually cutting off the points across the river. However, there are some points along the actual land-based cutoff points where you can actually divide, well, your territory in half. Okay, so for example, this one over here and this one up north is another cutoff point, and that is quite crucial because you could actually cut off your opponent from their, well, basically their side of their strategic points. So not much really going on along the left-hand side. We saw that one Volksgrenadier squad go down, and on the right-hand side we have literally a load of engineers. So taking a quick look at Marinez's units, he's got 4 pioneers and also 2 riflemen, so pretty cool that he's doing that. Looks like we've also got some sort of Volksgrenadier spam at the moment by Mr. Blackberry User. In fact, he's got, oh sorry, VStat, sorry, has 2 pioneers and 3 Volksgrenadiers, so he has a sort of Volksgrenadier-ish spam going on at the moment. In fact, he would have 4 Volksgrenadiers if that one didn't die a little bit earlier. I think that was sort of a silly move in my opinion. I think he really should have gone and gotten out of there a bit earlier. Now, you know, messages, what else could I talk about? Messages. You know, usually I do the messages at the start of a cast, but I'm going to just mention a few things. Thank you guys for helping me with the bowel cancer video. In fact, we are in the lead. We are leading about 400 views, so thank you guys for doing that. As a reward, I'm going to try to up the ante this week and bring out some more frequent casts for you guys. Okay, so thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate just the huge amount of turnout for that. Very welcoming in my opinion. Okay, thank you. The also other thing is that I'm also going to be doing a question at the end of this cast for you guys. So if you want to see that question at the end, also you can leave the response, your response, in the description below, and I will get back to that in the next cast and show you guys what everybody's feedback was and what my opinions were, and you know, all that sort of great stuff. Okay, so back onto the cast. The northern side has been, well, pretty much captured by the Wehrmacht. I mean, they've got a strong position in that house. That house is going to be really crucial. And also they've got another Volksgrenadier squad up north. Down south, just a few guys. That's about it. But the main focus of attention is up north. Oh geez, oh. We've just got a bunch of riflemen coming in here, and also a flame engineer. This is not going to look good too well for the Wehrmacht guys. I mean, they need to really get out of there, and especially when they're going to be getting chased down like this. I think this is a good time for VSAT to actually start thinking about retreating, especially that one injured squad. Oh god, thank you. Good stuff. But I think they actually should have gotten out of there as soon as possible. As soon as you know you're going to lose the situation. I mean, come on. There was evidently, absolutely predictable there that the Wehrmacht were going to get absolutely torn apart. So I think just as soon as they got out of that house, they should retreat right away. There's probably no point in falling back when you're just going to lose some guys along that way. Very lucky that the Americans don't actually have bars out at the moment. Can you imagine bars, especially when they were chasing down the guys like that? Even if they were retreating, they could actually have potentially ripped apart those Volksgrenadiers like if they were nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like ripping paper to bits. That's what it's like when you have bars against a Vet Zero Volks. Honestly, there is no comparison. Volks without Vet are just paper indeed. Right, so what else do we have for the Wehrmacht? They have just teched up onto T2. We've also got infantry veterancy coming out for the Volksgrenadier, so could this mean some sort of heavy investment into infantry? Well, it looks like there's a huge infantry strategy at the moment. I mean, we've got 2 pioneers, also 4 Volksgrenadiers, and also an MG42, so pretty cool. Lots of Volksgrenadiers. Could that mean a heavy infantry strategy? You know, some sort of investment into that, like getting lots of veterancy? Well, it's very likely. I mean, if you're going to have so many units, then yeah, of course. So what does this mean for the Americans? Well, the Americans have to think about getting some sort of anti-infantry out. They don't have to worry about anti-tanks so much at the moment because, you know, maybe if there's a fast T3 or something like that, you'd have to worry about Pumas or Stugs or something along that lines. But if there's going to be loads of infantry, that's obviously going to mean that T3 is delayed for the Wehrmacht. So what you could start thinking about is maybe getting some anti-infantry instead. Some people might back tech to the WSC, for example. Some people might try something different, maybe get Thompsons, maybe get bars, stuff like that, really. What else has Blackberry User gone? So let's switch on over to the Blackberry User and see what he's got. Now, this is actually quite interesting. I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier because we've seen it earlier, but the Volksgrenadiers are actually launching assault grenades. So that obviously gives away that the Blitzkrieg Doctrine has been selected. Going down along the right-hand side, Blitzkrieg Doctrine. So that is the assault grenades onto the Blitzkrieg itself afterwards, and then on to the God, what would you call it? The manpower rush or something, whatever it is called. I have no idea. The one where you get a gigantic bonus of manpower. That's what at the very end of the right-hand side of the Blitzkrieg doctrine. Okay, so the Wehrmacht are doing really, really well at cutting off these guys. I mean, these engineers are going to have a hard time encountering these Volksgrenadiers. Of course, if they don't have flamethrowers. I mean, this one just got a flamethrower, so no problem in that respect to be taking on these Volksgrenadiers. Now, you know, the sort of nice thing about Volksgrenadiers, you know, a lot of people have a sort of common misconception that they don't really like Volksgrenadiers because, you know, they think their veterancy might be useless. I disagree. The veterancy on the Volksgrenadiers are actually really, really useful. Even though they don't get elite armor later on, they still become quite powerful guys. I mean, they get regeneration bonuses. Vet 2, they get some sort of like received accuracy decreases and stuff like that. And so they still get some sort of bonuses. But the sort of nice thing, I suppose you could say, is say if there's a lot of engineers with flamethrowers, you know, they do extra damage against elite armor. If the Volksgrenadiers don't get elite armor, then, well, then they survive a bit longer against the flames. Obviously, though, Volksgrenadiers are still quite weak units in general. They die quite easy, even if there's even if they don't get elite armor. Okay, so we have an M8 just coming out for BlackBerry user 10 minutes into the game. You wouldn't really call it quite a rush for an M8, but it is out on the field relatively quickly. I think we actually saw the BlackBerry user maybe go for grenades, actually. I believe he actually has gone for grenades. So we don't have any bars out for a BlackBerry user, and that's pretty funny, I suppose you could say. We've also got that MA armored car. Now, in the current position or the current state of BlackBerry user, I mean, Marinas really just doesn't have that many strategic points. I mean, he's actually got 0 income of munitions and 5 income of fuel, which is just the base income. That's nothing. So he can't even afford the armored skirts for the M8 at the moment. I mean, that's why we saw 2 Panzerfaust do so much damage to that MA armored car. Very lucky he actually didn't get destroyed there. But, you know, for example, if there was a armored car with armored skirts, for example, then it would take, well, I'm pretty... It's 3 shots, I believe, is actually 3 Panzerfaust to destroy an armored car with skirts. But I think for some reason the Volksgrenadiers were just not lucky enough this time to actually destroy this armored car into 2 Panzerfaust, because it only has, well, it doesn't even have armored skirts at the moment, so it doesn't get any sort of you know, bonuses to surviving longer. And so very, very lucky armored car indeed, but it's already back up to health. Very good. So that is 70 munitions wasted for the Wehrmacht at the moment, but still, you can't really consider it a complete waste, because plus 54 munitions rate for the Wehrmacht is absolutely insane. You can just see it ticking away, basically almost a 1+1 munition every second. So that definitely beats out BlackBerry's or Marina's income. I mean, Marina's is really, really lacking on this front. And you sort of got to wonder what happened from last game, because Marina's last game, he was just right on the ball. He was just crazy good. Marina's just, it looked like he made easy work of Garcia. Like, Garcia was just an everyday sort of player, or noob even. But, you know, you gotta wonder what happened to Marinas right here. For some reason, he's getting cut off all the time, and he's not managing to hold out against all these guys, especially if there's gonna be an MG up north. So we've got a bunch of Volksgrenadiers down here, but the armored car is still not really scared about it. One single Panzerfaust damaging this armored car like mad, absolutely mad, taking it down to about what, one third health or something. That is a lot of damage indeed. So this armored car really needs to be a bit careful. And yet again, another Panzerfaust. Oh my gosh, that is 5 Panzerfausts in total trying to take out this. Or was that 4? Was that 4? Possibly 4. Okay, I haven't actually been counting, but if it was 4, then that was 4 times 35, which is 140 munitions. If it's 5, that's 175 munitions. Kind of wasted actually on this armored car. If you think about it, that's 2 Panzerschrecks and some left over. So that is a lot of munitions to sort of be wasting on this armored car. But I suppose that's what the Wehrmacht need to do at the moment. They need to sort of hold out until they can get some sort of proper anti-tank out for this armored car. But that is what I've heard in the distance. I've heard a Geschutzwagen come out from Sturm Armory. You've got also a second one being produced. This is absolutely mental for the Wehrmacht. I mean, he's actually literally got both fuel points up. Oh my god. In fact, he's got all the fuel points on the map, even the low ones in the center. He's got plus 47 income rate and plus 65 income rate for munitions. Oh my god. Marinas is really not lacking on terms of his munitions, but Marinas is just trying to hang on in there. Geschützwagen making very quick work of the barbed wire tearing apart like paper. So everything, this game, you could consider Company of Heroes like a game of rock, paper, scissors. Everything has a counter against each other. Bars can tear apart Volksgrenadiers like paper. Geschützwagens can tear apart barbed wire like paper. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. But Marinas is really struggling on this front. I mean, these Geschützwagens are really going to change the tide of the war if it really hasn't been changed at all. These armored cars are gonna. This armored car is just gonna need to be very careful because Geschützwagen's coming on in. Really needs to be careful here. We've got 2 snipers coming out for Blackberry user. Suppose he's just trying to counter these Volksgrenadiers as best as he can. 3 kills for one of them, 4 for the other, and we've got one of these rifleman squads actually going down. Oh man. Also the armored car. So badly damaged. Can it get away? Oh, well, the Geschützwagen is a bit far. And oh no. Oh no, indeed. In fact, the armored car is gone. So Geschützwagens, with their absolutely stupendous range, Geschützwagens are absolutely crazy when it comes to their range. They shoot very far. In fact, a lot farther than the Stug would. And they're also quite high damage. Even though they were nerfed quite a bit in this patch 2.602, they still do quite a bit of damage. Now, these Rangers are actually trying to take out this Geschützwagen. Destroyed engine, destroyed gun. I guess they're not even going to bother with it. They know that it's in no state of actually doing anything. This Geschützwagen can literally do nothing. Its engine is destroyed, it will barely move. Its main gun is non-functional, so they're trying to focus fire on this Geschützwagen down here. That motor pool is gone. These are big losses for the Americans, but they're trying to get some sort of territory. Can they do it? Come on, Marinas. Let's see something happen here. Assault grenades coming out, stunning these guys, doing quite a bit of damage on them. And we've got some engineers coming in to try to save the day, but these engineers with the little SMGs or grease guns are really not that effective. Despite all these losses that Marinas is taking, he's definitely doing a lot of damage to the Wehrmacht. He's destroyed Geschützwagen. The other one is just about to go down. He's literally at snail's pace. Look how slow these guys are, and yet they are so calm. Stay with your hunk of metal. Do not leave it. You have adopted it as your home. You will not leave the Geschützwagen. What would the Führer think if you left your vehicle in order to be captured or possibly destroyed by the Americans? Never, ever let it go. And in fact, well, it looks like they're going to be taking their vehicle to the grave. Alright, so at least they're going down with their ship down the drain. So what does VSAT have now? Well, he's actually going for Pumas, it looks like. Still a very huge income rate for the Wehrmacht at the moment. So huge, in fact, that he's actually produced an officer. I have never, in all of my casts, I don't actually believe I've ever seen an officer. Maybe one cast I've maybe seen it, but that was just as show. This one actually sort of makes sense. I mean, VSAT has such an upper hand on Blackberry user at the moment that he just doesn't even care. He's produced an officer and is in fact supervising the Sturm Armory so that the Pumas are created at a faster rate. Now, otherwise, the officer is quite a useless unit. Everyone knows this, and they know that the officer has a very limited role. The officer, what else can he do? I think he can throw down propaganda war. To be honest, I've hardly ever used the officer myself. I think he can throw down some sort of weak form of propaganda war, retreating like Wad Squad or something like that. I believe he can also call down some sort of artillery, mortar strike, and maybe something else. I think that's just the supervising that it can do, and that's just about it. That is the officer for you. Otherwise, he doesn't really do that much. I mean, for his price, you can really afford some better things. There's been a lot of debates, in fact, about the officer and what he could possibly improved on. My personal thoughts is that the officer should be made into something sort of like the lieutenant. Not entirely like the lieutenant, like giving veterancy and stuff, but maybe if it had an active ability that could be, I don't know, cost some munitions, it could call on some sort of blitzkrieg-like effect, like the blitzkrieg doctrine, and have some sort of, I don't know, bonuses that I could give to infantry. I think that would be pretty cool. and would give the officer a whole new meaning and possibly bring out some new strategies and stuff. That's just my opinion, but you know, chances are that probably won't happen. In fact, as long as this game has been out, the 5 or so years that this game has been out, in fact, the officer has never seen any sort of bonuses or buffs that have made it useful. So it's probably likely to think that the officer will probably never see its glory days. Okay, so one Puma going down. These Rangers are doing a really superb job against these armored cars. You wouldn't really think it, because the bazookas are really inaccurate and the Pumas have evasive bonuses, but they're still doing a very good job, in fact, against these Pumas, doing quite a bit of damage when they hit them spot on. Actually, it's quite accurate against them, surprisingly. So the Wehrmacht are capturing down south, but really this is just totally a Wehrmacht favored game at the moment. I mean, there's so many vehicles out for the Wehrmacht. They've got tons of vehicles, 3 Pumas, and we just got a bunch of Rangers for the Americans. But the Americans are just really trying to hang on in there. We've even got manpower blitz being called in by VSAT because he can afford it. 175 munitions, and he's going to get a big boost of 900 manpower. However, that cuts down his manpower rate by, well, basically a half, or 3 minutes. And there you guys go. He's only got a manpower rate of 120. So let's think of it. So 3 minutes, 360 times, or 120 times 3. Say that was 360 manpower that he lost. So he would make a profit of about, what was that, 540 profit. Indeed, he would make a 540 manpower profit by using 175 munitions. I suppose that's pretty cool. I mean, it pays its dues off. Basically, it's like a trade almost. The officer can produce these vehicles really fast, especially when there's manpower blitz out on the field. It's just everything comes out really fast, especially with that officer supervising the building of those vehicles, right? So the Pumas are just guarding outside the base of Marinas. Marinas, come on, you Marinas! You can destroy as much stuff as you can, but in order to actually be successful, you need to actually push back the Wehrmacht. I think the best thing to do would be to try and focus on one side at the moment of the map, just try and hold it. I think what would be best is actually to focus on his side and try to capture along the north side, and just try to capture land up here. I mean, he could definitely try to capture stuff over here, but I mean, it is kind of awkward because there's a river, and that just makes it awkward even crossing it. Then again, if you try to capture along the northern sectors over here, there's loads and loads of ways to actually enter these points. So I don't know, maybe the river might be a good idea if you could try and just somehow hold it off, maybe put down some mines, maybe stuff like that. Also, another manpower blitz coming out, and we've got these Pumas being created. Look how fast these guys are being made, these Pumas, with that officer at the helm, just trying to create those guys. Now we've got an off-map combat group coming out for Blackberry user. In fact, he's gone down along the left-hand side. I mean, that's how you get off-map combat group. And so he's got actually, well, a few guys. He's got 2 AT guns, which he could really have used, a rifling squad and also a mortar. So these AT guns are perfect. He definitely needs it against all of these Pumas. So let's see them be effective. We need to see that. This Puma over here is just being a bit cautious, but I would be careful if I were these AT guns. This Puma over here could definitely come in for a flank, and it looks like it actually might be trying to do that. It might actually come in for a flank, and that's the last thing you want to have when you're trying to take out these guys in the center. Puma trying to take these guys out. Come on, you packs. They're turning around as best as they can. Turning around. And we've got some snipers. These guys are fighting on the bridges. Oh man, I would love to see these bridges just be blown up somehow. One bazooka going down needs to be picked up, but this Puma that was flanking all these guys is definitely destroying everything that the Americans have. I mean, these AT guns are going down. The snipers really don't want to retreat because they could actually lose them if they retreat. The Pumas might, actually chase them down or something like that. He really does not want to lose his snipers. Oh, and no! The very small detection radius of when these Pumas actually revealed the sniper. However, I don't think the Wehrmacht actually saw that happen. I don't think they actually saw them get revealed. So the replay is just about to go, and it looks like the Pumas are entering the base, and they are about to take out Marinas. No! Marinas, what happened to you? In fact, that is it. He's not even declaring a good game. I think he was just so frustrated having to fend off or defend his base this entire game. Alright, so there you guys go. Marinas, he played absolutely brilliantly last last cast. I mean, he was so on his game. It was just ridiculous how good he was. It was so flawless. But no idea what happened this round. Just didn't manage to hold his sides, and all that fuel raise basically went down the drain, and it didn't look good for Marinas in the mid game and long term as well. So well done to VSAT for winning that match. Now my question of the day for you guys is, well, actually, you know, I had a question in my mind earlier on, but in fact what I'm going to actually talk about is actually an interesting one. Let's talk about the officer, okay? Now let's enter a debate for the officer. The officer obviously sees a lot of problems. Its limited functionality in this game was to supervise. That's about it. Now, if you were to balance the officer in some way, this is the question of the day, if you were to balance the officer in some way, how would you balance that officer? What would you do to him to try and make him a more effective Wehrmacht unit and possibly introduce new strategies for the Wehrmacht? How would you do it? Leave your comments in the description below, and I will hopefully, well, I will be giving you guys feedback on that next episode. So until then, guys, I hope you all have a very, very nice day. Until then, bye-bye.